He cheated with my sister. Told me, "You're too predictable." She's exciting. I said nothing. On Thanksgiving, I hosted dinner. I let them toast together. Mid-toast, I played the recording of her saying, "He's not even that good." My family went silent. He stood frozen. Then I pulled out plane tickets with my name changed back to my maiden name. As I left, I whispered to her, "Have him. You'll regret it." And when she followed me out to say something, I turned around and, "I'm Dana. I live in Rochester, New York. I'm 39. For over a decade, I was married to Mark. On paper, we were solid. No cheating scandals. No shouting matches. Just life. Bills, schedules, routines. Predictable. Which I thought was a good thing. He never complained. Not once. I met Mark at a sales workshop in Albany. It was dry as hell. He was the only person who didn't seem fake. We had dinner after the event, and from there, everything just kind of slid into place. Not fast. Just smooth. We moved in together a year later. Married after 2. Then came the house. Then a kid. That was our life. Ordinary. Safe. Enter Val. My sister. Val's 5 years younger than me, but she's always acted like she's 10 years older and doesn't give a damn. She dropped out of college 3 times, moved states like she was changing shoes, and dated a mix of jobless guys and one failed DJ who once lit our parents' deck on fire trying to impress her with fireworks. No joke. But she was my sister. And I loved her even when she made a mess. She'd visit sometimes, crash in our guest room, drink all the wine, and tell stories that made my mom roll her eyes. Mark always acted polite when she was around. Too polite now that I think about it. But I didn't see it then. Last July, things started to shift. Mark got weird with his phone. Used to leave it charging in the kitchen overnight. Now it was on him like a third arm. Always face down. Notifications off. One night I asked, "Everything okay at work?" He barely looked up. Said, "Yeah. Just a lot going on." That's when I felt it. That sick feeling. Like when you're home alone and think you hear someone upstairs. Then I heard the phone call. It was late. I was in the garage looking for the second bottle of wine we kept for weekends. I heard his voice. He didn't know I was there. I only caught a few words, "She's just too predictable." No name. No context. But I knew. I knew he meant me. I should have walked in. Slammed the fridge shut and made him explain. But I didn't. I froze. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the wine. He came out smiling. Said he was checking a client email. I nodded. Didn't say a word. Went to bed that night and stared at the ceiling for hours. The next day, I bought a nanny cam. It was shaped like a fake air freshener. I stuck it in the hallway near the guest room. Told Mark I had to drive to Buffalo for the weekend to help Mom sort some paperwork. He barely looked up. Cool. Safe drive. I checked into a motel. Cheap place off the expressway. Took snacks, laptop, and my charger. I watched the footage live on my phone. Friday night was quiet. Saturday, 7:42 p.m., he brought her in. She had a hood up, but I saw her shoes. Leopard print flats. Val wore those all the time. Said they made her feel dangerous. They kissed in my hallway. Kissed. In my house. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I saved the footage. Next morning, I texted Val, "How's your weekend?" She replied, "Chill. Just Netflix and wine. Might clean today, lol." I stared at my screen. I wanted to drive straight to her place and drag her out by the hair. But I didn't. I texted Mark, staying one more night. Mom wants help with her taxes. He replied, no problem. Tell her hi. No questions. No concern. Like I was just a background character in his life now. That's when I decided to plan something they wouldn't forget. Thanksgiving was in 2 months. My family rotates who hosts. This year was mine. Perfect. I spent weeks acting normal. Laughing when Mark made dumb jokes. Complimenting Val's nails when she sent selfies. They thought they were slick. But I had all I needed. Videos. Texts. A recorded phone call from Val telling her friend, he's not even that good, honestly. I just like that it pisses Dana off. I saved that one for a special moment. Thanksgiving morning, I woke up early. Made the turkey. Cleaned the house. Set the table with our best dishes. Mark kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong. Val brought a bottle of wine and 2 pies she clearly didn't make herself. We sat down. Ate. Laughed. My parents, my aunt, my cousin from Buffalo. Everyone was there. Everyone who mattered. When dessert came out, I stood up. Let's do a toast, I said. To love, to family, to honesty. I passed Val and Mark the wine glasses I'd poured myself. You two first. They looked at each other, smiled like idiots, and lifted their glasses. Just as they opened their mouths, I hit play on my phone. Her voice rang through the Bluetooth speaker, loud and clear, he's not even that good, honestly. I just like that it pisses Dana off. Silence. Every fork froze. My mom's jaw dropped. My dad looked at the floor. Mark turned pale. Val dropped her glass. Red wine everywhere. I pulled the plane tickets from my purse. By the way, I said, waving them. I'm going to Denver for a fresh start. Already changed my name back. Should have done it years ago. I grabbed my coat. Walked to the door. But I had one last thing to say. I leaned in close to Val and whispered, have him. You'll regret it. She followed me out, tried to say something, maybe sorry, maybe not. I don't know. But when she grabbed my arm, I turned around and slapped her hand off me. Not hard, but loud enough that it echoed off the porch siding. She blinked, stunned. Dana, wait, no, I said, stepping back. You don't get to talk right now. You don't get to spin it. You slept with my husband. In my house. And then you lied to my face every damn day. Val's voice cracked. It wasn't supposed to be serious. I didn't plan it, oh, shut up, I snapped. You planned every second. You stayed here longer than you needed. You wore your little perfume I told you Mark liked. You played dumb while sneaking around with him under my roof. She looked down, like a scolded kid. He said you two were falling apart. He said you didn't even sleep in the same bed anymore. I stared at her for a long second. So you thought it was okay to sleep with him? I didn't, you did. And you smiled in my face while you did it. She looked like she was going to cry. But I didn't care anymore. I really didn't. I'm not gonna stand here and listen to your half-ass excuses, I said. You made your choice. You both did. Now you can live with it. I turned, walked down the steps. My ride, Alyssa, was waiting at the curb. She got out, ready to grab my bags. That's when Mark came out. Dana, I ignored him and kept walking. He jogged up beside me. Can we talk? Please? I didn't stop. Talk to Val. She's your exciting one, right? He reached for my arm, but Alyssa stepped between us. Back up, Mark. He stopped. Looked at her, then me. His face twisted, angry now. So that's it, he said. You're just gonna walk away from everything? No, I said. I walked away when you brought her into our home. This is me finally leaving with my dignity. You're blowing up your life over one mistake. I laughed. Laughed like I hadn't in months. One mistake? You cheated. She lied. And then you gaslit me for weeks. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern. He was breathing hard now. Red in the face. Like he was about to say something cruel. But instead, he just stood there. Silent. Defeated. I got in the car. Alyssa drove us away, the family still sitting inside, probably wondering what the hell just happened. Later that night, my cousin texted, "Are you okay?" Everyone's still frozen. Your mom looks like she's aged 10 years. I told her, I'm okay. For the first time in a while, I actually feel free. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. Because 2 weeks later, Val showed up at my new apartment in Denver. She looked awful. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back like she hadn't washed it in days. I need to talk to you, she said. I didn't want to let her in. I really didn't. But part of me wanted to hear what disaster she'd dragged herself into now. So I opened the door. She stepped inside and said, "He's not who I thought he was." I crossed my arms. You think? She sat on my couch, staring at her hands. He's controlling. He's jealous. If I go out without telling him, he loses it. Accuses me of cheating. I raised an eyebrow. Sounds familiar. She flinched. I know. I deserve that. I didn't respond. She looked up at me, eyes red. He tried to hit me last night. Swung at the wall. Missed me by inches. Now she had my attention. What? I said, my voice low. She nodded. Said I made him feel small. That I used him. I think he's losing it. I didn't say anything right away. I sat down, trying to wrap my head around what she was saying. Then she looked at me and said, I think he's done this before. I think this isn't the first time. That's when something clicked. There was a woman, years ago, Mark said she left the office suddenly. No warning. Just up and quit. He told me she had a mental breakdown. I never questioned it. Until now. I stared at her. My sister. The same one who helped blow up my life. Now sitting in my Denver apartment, shaking like a leaf, talking about how the man she stole is scaring her. I should have felt pity. But what I felt was something else. Something colder. Why are you really here, Val? I asked. What do you want from me? She looked up, eyes rimmed red. I don't know. I didn't know who else to talk to. I tilted my head. Not your friends? Not Mom? You came all the way here to the sister you betrayed? Her voice cracked. I didn't come for sympathy. I came because I think he's dangerous. I believed her. But that didn't mean I cared. You're afraid of him now, I said. But you weren't afraid when you were sneaking around behind my back. When you were whispering about how boring I was. When you thought you'd won something. She opened her mouth but couldn't answer. Then I said something I never thought I would. Do you know if he's done this before? She swallowed hard. I think so. I found messages on his laptop. From a woman named Celine. He told me she was a temp at his old office, said she was unstable and had to be let go. But I found an email she wrote to him, begging him to leave her alone. Said she'd moved states to get away. My blood ran cold. You still have it? She nodded, pulled out her phone, scrolled, and handed it to me. It was real. It wasn't just begging. It was fear. This woman had been stalked. Harassed. And she mentioned someone else too. Someone who warned her not to report anything. Jesus, I whispered. Val nodded. I think he gets off on power. On control. And you thought you were different, I said. She didn't answer. I took her phone, screenshotted everything, and sent it to myself. Then I looked at her. You need to leave him. Tonight. Get out before it gets worse. She hesitated. I can't. I tried. He took my car keys. He checks my phone. He even set up a camera in the hallway. Said it was for security. She looked up at me, eyes wide. He thinks I'm cheating now. Says I owe him loyalty. I stood up. My heart was racing. I couldn't believe this was real. That the same man who used to fold laundry on Sundays was now this monster. I picked up my phone. Give me his address. I'm not calling the cops yet. I want to handle this my way first. She looked scared. Dana, what are you going to do? I turned to her, flat and steady. What I should have done the moment I caught you too. I packed fast. Just my phone, charger, and the flash drive with the recordings and screenshots Val gave me. She kept asking me not to go. Said it was risky. That he might snap. I told her I wasn't afraid of Mark anymore. But that wasn't the truth. I was afraid. But I was more angry than scared. And anger, real, sharp anger, burns hotter than fear. She gave me the address. He was staying in a rental about 20 minutes outside the city. A long-term Airbnb while he sorted things out. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. When I pulled into the driveway, it was already dark. No lights on in the house, but I could see the glow of the TV through the blinds. I walked right up to the door and knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder. Finally, I heard footsteps. He opened the door in sweats and a t-shirt, holding a beer. His face dropped when he saw me. Dana? I stepped in without asking. He stepped back, confused. What the hell are you? I cut him off. Sit down. He didn't move. I said sit the hell down. Maybe it was the tone. Or maybe it was the look in my eyes. But he sat. I dropped the flash drive on the coffee table. What's this? He asked. You already know. He looked at it, then up at me. So what, you came here to threaten me? No. I came here to give you a choice. He snorted. What kind of choice? I stared at him. You're going to transfer everything in our joint accounts to me. You're going to sign over your share of the house. And then you're going to disappear. Quit your job. Leave the state. Start over somewhere far away. And you're never going to contact me or Val again. He laughed. Are you out of your damn mind? I leaned in. Calm. Cold. I have recordings. Of you cheating. Of you threatening women. I have messages from one of them, begging you to leave her alone. I also have evidence you installed a camera in a home without consent. That's illegal in this state, by the way. His face went pale. You want me to bring this to your job? To the cops? I will. I swear to God, Mark, I will ruin you. And unlike you, I don't bluff. He stood, fists clenched. You're not going to do shit. You're just bitter. Pathetic and bitter. I smiled. Then take the risk. Let's see what happens. He stared at me, like he was trying to see if I was serious. Then his shoulders dropped. You were never like this, he muttered. You used to be quiet. Predictable. Yeah, I said. And you used to be someone I could trust. The next day, he signed everything. I took the documents straight to my lawyer. Got everything notarized. Legal. Final. I used the money to start fresh in Denver. Opened a boutique design studio. Nothing fancy, but mine. Val stayed with me for 3 months. She tried to fix things between us. But some cracks don't seal. One morning, I left her a note. Rent's paid for another month. There's groceries in the fridge. But I needed space. She found her own place later that week. We talk now and then. But we'll never be close again. Mark did leave town. I heard he moved to Texas. Tried starting over. But something caught up with him. Last I heard, one of his exes filed a police report. He lost his job. Then another woman came forward. And another. I never called the cops. Didn't have to. I just pulled the pin and walked away. Funny thing is, I thought I'd feel empty after all that. But I didn't. I felt clean. For the first time in years, I felt free.